This is Carrie O'Donnell from Tarot Soul Writer, and I'm here with Cindy, and we are ready for another show where we look at your political and current event questions. Cindy, you have any announcements today or things that you need to tell the audience?
Well, I just wanted to say congratulations on accurately predicting the convictions that came out last week on Trump. And I wanted to tell you that I appreciate being able to look at that prediction and especially on those days when I was like, is this ever gonna happen? So kudos to you for getting it right and getting it right so long ago. I think it was back, was it
I had done a lot of those 2024 predictions in like December, November, December, and January. So
yeah. So that was a little bit of sigh of relief, and I don't want to say necessarily celebration, but maybe just an acknowledgement that that felt like a little nice little hit of justice that came our way, and it was something I wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah, and the thank you goes to my guides. For sure. I like to call them the choir. The choir is the one who steers me in the right direction. So it's really all them. But I do feel like the people needed those messages. That kind of moves to that first announcement I wanted to make. There are a lot of people who I think have come online who feel sort of over politics. Like, let's not read on this anymore. Do we have to read on Trump or any of those people? But we were talking about this backstage, and I feel very strongly about this, that the questions for the show come from the people who are showing up to the show. They are putting their questions in the chat. And Cindy is trying to get a variety of different questions, each show, so that we can have interesting topics, because there's such a breadth of questions that come through. And I trust her with those decisions. And I kind of feel that even though there are some people who don't want to hear about this stuff anymore, there are a lot of people who need that reassurance. So that's what spilling the tea is going to be all about. We're going to look into the things that are important to you, the audience. And when this stuff isn't important to you, we won't be reading it. It's going to be based on the questions you put in the chat. So yeah, just wanted to address this. Anything else going on for you, Cindy?
I'm looking forward to Wednesday Wonderings that you're now doing the soul writing on. So I'm interested to see.
Yeah, we have a really good Wednesday Wondering. I got a really strong message today that was even surprising for me. Might not be surprising to all of you, but it will be surprising to me. So I'm looking forward to that at the end of the show. Just a reminder to the audience that you can still sign up for my tarot soul writing classes in the summer session. And if you want a personal reading with me, please go to tarotsoulwriter.com, press book a session. I believe we're booking in September. That's when the times are right now. I know that's a little far away, but I can only read a certain amount of days during the week. I think that that's part of the issue. So if you want to get in line, I'd be happy to do a reading for you. Just sign on up. All right. So with that said, are we ready to go?
I think we're ready to go.
All right. Let's do this. All right. First question. All right. Is this a good time to buy a house? Now, we were talking about this question. I think a lot of, I'm going to read on this generally, okay? Just in the United States, is this a good time to buy a house? I do feel like a lot of this could be regional, because I've looked into this question for some other people. And I think that different regions of the United States might have different outcomes at different times. But I'm going to look at it in a general sense. And hopefully that's helpful to whomever posed the original question. Is it a good time? Okay, we have to wait a little bit longer. That's basically what I'm getting here. Let me see if I can just get some timelines here for when the energy is going to get a little better. All right, this is what I'm getting. Right now, with this Queen of Swords reversed energy, it's funny because that's a lot of feminine energy. And I feel like women are a big part of this question, which is interesting. Maybe because in many traditional families, women are at the heart, like the center of home buying. So there is something here that things are not working out. The Fool card would indicate sort of stay present, just we're kind of like in this beginning of, it's like it's card zero, right? It represents the present moment. And there is some sense that things are going to be up from here, but don't move yet, okay? Because some of the ending cards is that there's some money stuck, or the housing market is going to be stuck for a little while longer. I do get a sense that with the Star card reversed, there are a lot of people who are losing hope. Please don't, okay? Because I did pull the card, time will bring a surprise, okay? So things are going to get better overall. Now, like I said, there may be regions of the country where it is okay to buy a house, or things are starting moving again. The Fool card was the zero, so things are starting to get better now in certain areas. But if we took it holistically, I think there are going to be some improvements down the line. Time will bring a surprise. If you could just wait it out a little bit longer, don't lose hope. And honestly, my gut is saying maybe past the election. I think we have to get through this election cycle, and then things are going to get a lot better. All right, so hold on. It's not going to be a tight market forever. So Mexico has a new female prez, Claudia. How will she do? And that reminds me, I had meant to talk about this. In the last show, someone wanted me to read on the outcome. And of course, I don't know anything about Mexican politics. And I had asked questions, who was running. And I think someone said maybe a man and a woman. I got that a woman really angry at the end, and she had the King of Pentacles next to her. So I interpreted it as a man. But I did not have the context correct. So I was not interpreting the cards correctly. I still kind of feel that that King of Pentacles energy must be related to established money, because that's the other interpretation of the card. So maybe the woman who's angry thought that she had some money behind her, or she had some sort of support behind her. So she was upset about the outcome. That said, and you can look back on that to kind of get your own interpretation of the cards if you know a lot more about Mexican politics. Let's take a look at Claudia and how she will do in the future for Mexico and the world. Look at that. Here's that King of Pentacles energy again. So people out there who know more about it, maybe this has to do with some sort of financial support, the patriarchy, something. There's definitely that kind of energy here that she's thinking of. And then it starts out kind of shaky. The Two of Swords is like a split for me when it's in reversal, like we're on two sides of a fence. So this country definitely has some sense of different opinions that she has to contend with in order to have people reach common ground. It starts out with the Chariot reverse. She isn't moving to success at first, or another way to use this is she's off on the wrong path. Then the outcome, though, when she can kind of move through this period, I do get the Hierophant here, which is the government card. Okay, the government card. She is understanding with, this is the Three of Wands reversed. Sometimes this can mean ulterior motives. So she kind of knows that there are some people who have ulterior motives within her government, but she finds a way to collaborate with the Three of Pentacles. Collaboration, coming together with different factions to, I guess, move towards success. I'm getting a sense of it's going to take her a little while. It's like wrangling cats or something, but she does achieve some sense of collaboration or working together. So I think she's going to do pretty well. And thank you so much to Shelly Hansen for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Chrissy, what will Trump's sentencing be on July 11th? Will we have some sort of incarceration? All right, let's take a look. I remember when we did the other cards and we definitely got that he's going to be guilty, but I thought something was weird as far as the sentencing, like we weren't completely happy. So let's see if there's going to be some sort of incarceration for Trump. How's the sentencing going to go? Oh, wow. I actually think he's going to have some sort of jail. I don't think this is jail, but I do feel with this 10 of Swords in the outcome that there is going to be some sort of restriction on him. Let's call it a form of incarceration. So I don't know if this means like he can't move in some way or his movement is restricted. He takes it hard. This is like hard. What I'm getting that's leading up to that is very concerned about money. Monies or fines might be part of this. It seems that is one of his biggest concerns, believe it or not, going in. So he's thinking like, I can either pay some money or negotiate something with money. Emotionally, he's going to be really out of balance with the Temperance reversed. It's like something's not working out for him. I get a little bit of a tantrum. I feel like, I don't know if he's taken out, but he's not in that. The other way I can interpret this energy, because I'm getting him very loopy, very like, I could like turn on a dime, like as far as my moods, but maybe this is for entertainment purposes only. Maybe he's just in a state that's trying to, let's just say, relax him. But I don't get him all there. Like he's really off balance. Then I get the Four of Cups reversed. This is really interesting because, how do I want to say? It's like there's a new start here. There's new start energy. I feel like it's a new beginning, but I don't think this is Trump's feelings. That's what I'm feeling. It's like, I think it's the people in the courtroom. They're like, this is a new start, a new beginning. Like this is something unprecedented is kind of what I'm feeling here. The Three of Pentacles is here. There is going to be a collaboration, a meeting of minds for the outcome. This may have already started to happen. I think you, of course, have the judge who makes the final decision. And I feel like there has been a meeting of minds, believe it or not, because this is unprecedented energy. This is something that's never happened before. We've got to take into account the big picture, and there's more than one. There's like a consultation, I feel, for how we're going to deal with this. But the Queen of Cups is here in the outcome next to it. And that's that feminine energy. That's, Stormy Daniels. That's, for all women everywhere. There's emotion, but it's positive emotion. And that's when I get the Ten of Swords. It's crazy. I think he's going to be restricted in some way. And I don't think he's going to see it coming. I think he's going in thinking like we can negotiate something financial. And it's not completely like that. He's going to be really off balance. They're not showing me any outcome that's like explosive, like something violent or crazy. But I felt with that temperance reverse that it could happen. Like they're going to have to really watch him. Like he could turn on a dime. So this is going to be really interesting. Oh, yes. Now that Donald Trump's a felon, will polls finally start reflecting the numbers more truthfully and accurately in President Biden's favor? You bring us peace of mind, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Kylie. I appreciate all of you. All right, polls. Let's see if those would improve. I feel yes, but it's slow. It's a slow yes. You're not going to see it reflecting things accurately and truthfully right at first. I do get a sense with this Five of Cups reversed that people are trying to process what's happened here with Donald Trump. And there is such again, I'm tapping into the energy of the masses with this, not necessarily the MAGA group. The grand majority of people are feeling like we don't have to grieve anymore. We don't have to reflect on what we've lost, that we can take back some of our, I almost want to say power, like empowerment from this situation. But the polls are being restricted for entertainment purposes only with the Eight of Swords. This may be a media thing. I didn't ask who was behind it, but I do feel like there is some restriction on maybe who they're polling, or it's limited is what they're saying. So maybe this is a limited sample. I do feel like there might be a little bit of manipulation here. So we're not seeing the whole picture at first. But then the Two of Swords energy comes in, a sense of compromise. That's how I read this card, a sense of coming together. This is slowly, gradually happening as we move into the election. You're going to start to see in the polls that Biden has the upper hand. And I think it's because of this energy here of the collective masses saying, we want to take our power back. We want to be empowered. We don't want to focus on him anymore. And I hate to say it, but I feel like the polls are manipulated based on what the public wants to see as opposed to what is. The ending here is really positive, though. You got good messaging here with the King of Cups. You got the Death card, which I feel is a transformation of the polls. And I do have the Seven of Swords reversed. So the sneakiness or the underhandedness or the manipulation is also going away. So when we get closer to the election, you are going to see, as public opinion changes, that the polls are more and more accurate. That's how I'm reading this. So hang in with that as well. Jackie, Judge Cannon is holding a hearing on June 21st for non-parties. Can argue whether Jack Smith was illegally chosen for this case. Oh my God. Any thoughts on how this will go? Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? All right. Jack Smith illegally chosen for this case. It's just crazy. All right, let's take a look. How's this going to go? Oh, not very well. Not very well for her. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Yeah, I get the Page of Swords underneath this, and that's like something that comes out of the blue for me. Like, whoa, didn't see that coming. Which that could maybe be, I don't know, just the feelings of people who are watching the situation. But it can also mean the spy or someone who, like a spy in the camp. So definitely implies that there's something underhanded here, kind of throwing things out of the blue into the situation. You got the Four of Wands reversed. At first, it's like, I think I'm moving to success with this, but not really. It's like it's not moving fully to success. And then we have the High Priestess here. Now, this could be a woman. I don't think it's Judge Cannon, though, because she's wise and she's holding up a sense of balance of knowledge and wisdom. I'm not getting that this is her, but if it doesn't represent an actual woman, it just could be that it represents that energy of wisdom and balance between, good and evil and what's right. That's higher learning. That's what's going to take hold. In other words, the higher aspects of this court, what the law says, etc. And then I got really good news for Jack and not very good news for this situation, this hearing. It starts with the Knight of Wands. Here's the Knight moving to action. And I feel like that's Jack Smith. He's bringing the Tower. This whole thing falls apart. And then I have the Ten of Wands and a lot of stress and people like locking down their defenses in a sense, or getting ready to fight the next battle. If we're asking specifically about the hearing, this is a sense that Jack brings the Tower on this situation and brings a lot of stress to Judge Cannon and that situation. I guess this means either the hearing doesn't happen or the hearing happens and the arguments all fall apart. Either way, I don't get Jack Smith in danger in any way here. Do you see Kamala Harris becoming president of the United States in the future? And if yes, when do you see her becoming president of the US? For those of you who saw the Irish Granny interview that I just did, we did some spontaneous reading on Biden, and Kamala came up in my spread in the future. So let's take a look at that. Will Kamala be president? And when? Let me just see if I can get a timeline here. It's interesting because I'm getting that the timing on this isn't set in stone, or there are some things that need to be put in place before this happens. Kamala becoming president is going to, Two of Swords reverse, be a really splitting kind of situation. It's how we read Hillary Clinton's energy. She's a polarizing figure, right? Political figure for a lot of different reasons. Kamala is the same way, maybe for different reasons, but the one reason they have in common is the fact that she's a woman, right? So this is really, they already know that this could really tear things apart. For that reason, I feel like, yes, Kamala is going to be president. I do get the Queen of Wands here, but that's her card that I use for Kamala. But they're saying there's a waiting period with the Four of Swords. And I asked for timing, and look, I pulled wait, which is the exact meaning of this card. So we have to wait for this. And I don't feel like it's a conventional sense because of that energy of splitting. I don't think she's going to win by just running in a traditional sense. All right. So she's going to come to the presidency, I believe, after waiting. And I think part of this waiting is being vice president, to be honest with you. She's sort of in a holding pattern. But look at the ending here. I do get the Justice card. So I feel like she is coming in, that there is going to be justice after the waiting. And I feel like she's the justice president. I'm feeling a strong sense that when she comes in, the King of Pentacles is reversed. So the corruption is here. This is corruption with money, in this case in government. And she's coming in and she's cleaning up. She's like the cleanup crew. I can't even say it, crew. And then I get the Two of Pentacles, a sense of balance here, or bringing some sense of balance. I'm not getting exactly when, but I'm interpreting this in a nutshell this way. She's not going to be elected in the traditional way. I believe it's going to be after a waiting period where she was told to wait, and then there'll be a period after Biden is elected president. There'll be a period of time and then he will step down, because that's what I had gotten in the other reading as well. And that her role is like cleaning up on aisle 7. She is going to be the justice president. She is going to take the next steps to clean out corrupt money within the government and to bring some sense of balance. I think that's her role. I didn't ask how long she would be president, but that seems to be something that's destined for her, that role. So we'll have to see how long it takes in Biden's presidency for him to step down, but I keep getting that message. I keep getting that that's how it's going to go down. So I hope that answers your question. That could be something we look into over time to see if we can narrow it down. Right. Do you see documents or any other secret items hidden under or around a wheelhouse at Mar-a-Lago? There's a wheel. What's a wheelhouse? Cindy, help me. What's a wheelhouse? Do we know? Around a wheelhouse. Is that like some sort of a shed, or?
Maybe just take the question, just Mar-a-Lago in general.
Just in Mar-a-Lago in general?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that is, so it's throwing me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll do that. Any secret documents hidden at Mar-a-Lago? All right. Yes. Documents or other secret items. I feel like I'm leaning more toward other secret items. I keep getting the same story when I read on this general question. And I guess in short, in the outcome, I keep getting the Wheel of Fortune. So it could be something financial or something that brings in some sort of money. The Ace of Wands is my yes card. So yes, there's definitely something there for entertainment purposes only. I shouldn't say definitely, allegedly. And it's for some, these are 2 action cards, right? Movement. It's to help move. It's to help get things going. And the Hangman is reversed. Okay. So the Hangman would be imprisonment or punishment. it's to reverse. So if I put this together, it's what's there is to help him to move to action, to get out of punishment or to get out of whatever accountability he needs. It feels financial to me. I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, it could be two different things that are really important and can bring in some money. I get all this feminine energy, the Queen of Pentacles reverse, the Empress reverse, the ex-wife. I don't know. I don't know. There's something female here. Could be related to the ex-wife. Queen of Pentacles, reverse energy. And it could just be like the divine feminine going after him, or it could be related to women in general. So I'm not 100% sure what this is, but it seems related to what he has hidden. Okay. I'm wondering if his ex-wife was holding some things for him. I don't know what this is, because that would have happened after she died. So I'm not quite sure. But I do get I feel really sure about the outcome, that the answer is yes. And it has something to do with, it's kind of like a safety net, and out. If I hold on to these things, these secret items or these documents, it might be my ticket to get out of any kind of potential punishment or accountability that might be coming to me. It's like a safety net. So that's what I'm getting around Mar-a-Lago. If you have any ideas about what the female energy could be, yeah, don't hesitate to put in the chat, because I do feel like that's mixed up in this. All right, will Hunter Biden be exonerated? Yeah, I'm worried about him, because we know the energy is that of revenge right now. So you have to wonder if this is going to be fair. So let's take a look. And I'm going to say exonerated like in the long term as well. Because what happens in the short term might not be the long-term outcome for Hunter. Hunter is going to, for the things that he did that were actually illegal, he's going to have to pay some sort of a price. Will he be exonerated, like found innocent of all things? I'm not feeling on the things that he's, like if there was tax evasion or whatever, or the gun thing or whatever it is that they're accusing him of. I do feel like there is some sort of accountability. The corrupt money here is here, the people kind of going after him, or there is a lot of corruption underneath. But what concerns me is the 10 of Swords are upon him in the present. So things that are coming up with, I guess, this trial thing that's happening, it might not go very well for him. He might have some sort of restrictions. Then I get this 8 of Cups reversed energy. This is interesting, because after something that seems very negative that comes toward him, it's as if something loosens up. Like it's like, to me, this is like my circling, I can't even speak. Going back home, we'll say it a different way, and circling around. That's what I'm seeing. So we're going to come back to whatever happens, whether that's a ruling or a sentencing, whatever it is, we're coming back around to it in the near future, and they're looking at it again. And the cards at the end, I still, with the 5 of Cups, I get a sense that he's still unhappy, or he still has to pay some sort of penance for some things. Okay, because it's like I've lost 3 cups, but I have 2. All right, so I don't think he's completely seen as innocent, but I think they're going to uphold things that they know by the law was wrong. But what does change is the severity, maybe, of the punishment. I get the dysfunctional family card. This is the 10 of Cups reversed, but for me, it's my symbol for dysfunction that's under the surface. It may be the dysfunction that he went through with the drugs and addiction that they're going to look at again. And he does move 6 of Swords to better times, smoother waters. Okay. But there is still some sense that he will still have to have some sort of accountability for the things that by law he was wrong. Just in short, I feel like in the short term, I'm still a little worried. I feel like they're going to come after him hard. And I don't think it's because of what he did. I think it's because of the whole situation, and that corruption underneath is what's behind that. So let's all pray for Hunter Biden. But I think in the end, it's going to be a fair outcome for him by law. Right. Do you see Michael Cohen having to move to get away from being doxxed recently? You have to move getting away from being doxxed. I feel like he should move, but that he won't. That's the feeling that I'm getting, because the beginning cards, you've got that Knight of Wands reversed, especially this one, the Knight of Swords reversed, which to me is not moving. But there's a lot of emotion here, a lot. And that Nine of Pentacles reverse, Thief, I'm hearing like there's some sense that that energy is coming for him. But the ending here is, justice is reversed. Like something's unfair to him, but Page of Swords, my sword is up. I'm defending myself. I have the 10 of Wands kind of building my walls in place, building up my defenses. Like if this was a battle, it's kind of like saying, this isn't fair, but I'm going to fight people here, the here and now, like I'm not going to run away, or I don't have to move to get away from it. It seems like a decision or a choice. Like I probably should move, but I feel like he's defending himself in some way in place. So I hope that makes sense to the situation. All right. Do you see the recent marriage of Rupert Murdoch to the ex-wife of a corrupt Russian oligarch as a ploy Russia is putting in place? I didn't know about this one. Do you see the recent marriage? It's a ploy. Let's take a look to see if I get that. Yes. Again, I don't know anything about this situation, but here she is, the Queen of Cups. And it seems like there's an offer of a woman, which is very interesting. I feel that with this card, like the offer of this woman. And the 10 of Swords is reversed. So there is some sense of where I almost want to say mending bridges, or there's some, how do I want to say it? Like we're trying to not make amends, but build a bridge. I think that's what I'm seeing metaphorically, like building a bridge with the offer of this woman. And the Hermit is reversed. So I'm getting a very old man here. So I feel like this is Rupert here. I'm sensitive on the Queen is building bridges with Rupert. Okay, so do I feel like it's Russia? Well, I had asked that question. The reason I say yes is I've got the 7 of Swords in the outcome. So there is some sort of manipulation or shenanigans behind the scene. The Sun card is reversed, so there is some secret dealings here in the shadows with the Sun reversed. And then you have the Two of Wands. Very interesting, because I'm looking for the future. I'm looking 3 chess moves down. Like that's kind of what we're getting here. It is a ploy, and it has something to do with a long-term plan. And since I asked if Russia in the question, I feel like, yes, allegedly, this is a ploy. And there's some sort of secret plan here. And the woman is like a gift, which, God, it's so horrible that I even said that. But that's kind of what I'm getting. It's a bridge. All right. Why is the race still so tight? What does the country want? Why is it such a struggle to justice and personal rights for all? Choose anything in there if you read on this. All right, Susan's. Yeah, because there's a lot. Because I almost feel like I want to say, based on my former readings and my overall 2024 predictions, I don't actually believe the race is still so tight. I know that sounds crazy because the polls say otherwise, and there's still a lot of people out there that, have different opinions. I'm just not feeling that the majority of Americans are ready to vote for Donald Trump. I'm just not feeling that at all. So let's kind of look at what the country as a whole really wants. And then I'll actually put down cards on why it's a struggle if it doesn't come up. All right, so what is it that the country really wants as an outcome here? What is it that they want? All right. The majority, and I'm taking this as collective energy, okay? The majority of Americans have lost hope, all right? They've lost hope in the system. They've lost hope in justice. They've lost hope that their lives can be better. This is the energy of the majority of Americans. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. I'm just feeling in general that this is a collective feeling from the people. What is it that they want? They're looking at the world. They want this to be over. That's really interesting. There needs to be a sense of completion here. What do we want in this race? We just want it to be done. I've lost hope that there's any real justice here. Please, let's just bring this to completion. The Eight of Swords is here in the future position. This is a sense of, that's in the traditional deck. You have the blindfolded woman with the swords around her. And part of the meaning of this card is it's like self-sabotaging. It's like not seeing the truth and only seeing in a limited way. I feel like this is the majority of people who still feel like the Republican ticket is an option because they're limited in knowledge. Some of them are self-sabotaging. They've been tricked. They vote against their own interests. All right, that's the blindfold. But they can take off that blindfold at any time. Okay, but a lot of it is there's a limited knowledge of the truth of what's happening here in America. And that might go to, why is it such a struggle? Because people are limited in the information that they receive in certain parts of the country. And there is a sense of being tricked and going against your interests. The outcome here, lots of nines, and nines are always completion. The first thing is the Nine of Cups. And I'm actually getting it in reversal. This is my symbol for the man who takes out his pockets and shows he has nothing to hide. There is a sense of, I want honesty. That's what I want. I want the truth. I want someone who is there like me. And it's funny that it's the person taking his pockets out, because it's also the poorer people, the poorer people who want honesty because their pockets are empty too. And then I get the judgment card reversed. They want this all to go, how do we even want to say this? It sounds horrible, but I'm getting like a vision of the crumbling of society, like in a literal sense. Like, let's just take it all down. They just want to start fresh. Like the majority of people are like, this whole system, let's say this is a metaphor for a system of government, our government. They want to just knock it all down and start over. Okay, we are the new founding fathers. How are we going to work this system? All right, so there is a sense collectively that we know the system of government is corrupt, and we want to sort of tear everything down that isn't working and rebuild. That's a sense I'm getting. And then you have another 9, the 9 of Wands, which kind of goes, it's in reversal again. So this is building up our defenses, but this is tearing down the walls. I'm actually hearing Ronald Reagan when he says, tear down that wall. That's just, it has nothing to do with what was going on politically then, but it is my metaphor for they want to take down the walls that are between other Americans, the walls that have been brought up, the sense that we're different, the sense that this is my enemy, even though it's my neighbor. You know, they want to tear down those walls. They want to start connecting with other Americans. They want to rebuild the government. Yeah, and they want people to be honest. So that's what I'm getting. I think the problem is that 8 of Swords, the sense of making sure all Americans really understand the truth. That's the hard part. That's the part we're working on, to kind of understand that we really are all wanting the same things. I think that's going to be the real challenge. Maybe if there's a perception that the race is still so tight, it's just that people don't have all the information. So they, even though they're all wanting the same thing, they think that each team is the one that can give it to them. But I really feel like over time, we're going to see more and more of the truth, and that path will be clearer as we get closer to the election. And it's not going to be the Trump path. It just isn't. It's not going to happen. Final question. All right, what do we got for the final question? All right, where is Letitia James on the seizing of convicted felon Trump's assets? And will we start hearing about it? Oh, that would be sweet. All right, let's take a look. Letitia seizing his assets. All right, it is going to start happening, and it happens in a slow, step-by-step progression. Really interesting here. I have that slow King of Pentacles. I slowly, step by step, ride along, and I just take something financial with each step. It seems to, the Hangman is reversed, trying to get out of punishment, but I feel like you're not going to get out of punishment. The 7 of Swords is reversed. We know all of your secrets, all your underhanded dealings, right? You're not going to get out of this punishment because step by step, we are taking assets. Now, the cards leading up to that, I do have the Sun card reversed. So there's some things that are hidden, or they're trying to hide some assets. But the King of Swords is here. This is the law. This is justice. They're on it, is basically what it, like, you can't hide from us. They're looking, again, 3 steps ahead to where you could go in the future. So this is going to start happening. Now, timing wise, I'm not really getting a timing that's popping out for me. Let me just see if a timing card can help. Because I keep getting this slow kind of feel as far as the timing, kind of when would we start hearing about it? Okay, that's why. indecision is causing delays. I think that's why I'm not getting a clear timeline and why it feels like slow, step by step kind of process. So when are we going to start hearing about it? I feel like this could be even closer to election time. I almost feel like the fall is kind of when we would hear. I know that's a little ways down on the line. I don't want you to interpret that as it won't happen until then. I think that's when we're going to hear about it. What I'm getting now is they're trying to make some decisions. Feels like there are multiple parties trying to align themselves. And then I get that slow, you might see little things going here and there, but possibly by fall is when we're going to hear about the bigger stuff, kind of hear what has been going on. So that's what I'm getting right now. Time is a little fuzzy on that one. All right. All right. I think it's time for
Wednesday Wonderings.
Sweet.
That time.
It's that time.
That time again.
I love that.
All right. So this is a big question, Carrie. We were wondering, has time sped up or is it just a perception?
All right.
Is this aligned with our ascension?
All right. Now, I did a soul writing session on this question before I came on, and I'm just going to get the session here. I have to preface this by saying sort of where I'm coming from. This is what surprised me about the answer. First of all, it came in very strong. And I have this thing with ascension, the way the New Age community talks about ascension. I do. I have some issues with it. This is me, Carrie. It has nothing to do with spirit. Because sometimes I see some people, spiritual people who get like so into this ascension thing that it almost, the way they describe it is very similar to me, the way organized religion talks about, what's coming. And there is a sense with some of these people that they put themselves on a pedestal, like we're ascending and you're not, and I don't like that dynamic. And I feel some of it is just going along with what a lot of formalized religions throw out there. That said, that doesn't mean ascension isn't happening. It just that maybe I don't agree with how people talk about it. And this is relevant because when I ask the question, has time sped up or is it just perception? Is it aligned with our ascension? It absolutely is aligned with our ascension. And in fact, all the things that came through were not things that I would normally write because I have this prejudice against some of the opinions about ascension. So apparently I'm wrong and everybody else is right. So here we go with the message. It said, there is mourning, grief, feelings of loss as darkness, a looming shadow creeps over the earth. We feel the change, the shift, and we mourn what we are leaving behind. We have regrets. You leave behind ignorance, limitation, and fear. Why do you mourn? You are leaving a legacy of abuse and rage and now have the opportunity to grasp your true inheritance. You are at a turning point. You can no longer plan. You wonder if you can even hope because planned outcomes are not always assured. Just so you know, I feel like this has something to do with the shift of how we perceive time. It is time to move away from what you perceive is the past. Your perception of time is askew because you are at a turning point. Now, at this point, I have to explain the image I saw, because I kind of wrote down what I saw. I saw the Earth in outer space, like we see in photographs. And then it was like being sucked, like squeezed through the eye of a needle. And halfway through both sections of Earth, like it's Earth, but it's in a weird shape, kind of like a wormhole, kind of looked like a wormhole. And we were like at the center of the needle, like halfway through the process. That was the turning point. But it was like Earth wasn't round anymore. It looked like a wormhole. And they showed me that. So this must be a metaphor for maybe how time is bent in some way through this process. It's very interesting to me. The world doesn't make sense. What is up seems to be down, like the Hall of Mirrors, a funhouse. This karmic cycle is done, someone said, except don't fight this process. Then I saw a crossing over process. It's funny that we did NDEs last week because I saw like that NDE experience, like when someone comes out of their body and then they go through a tunnel and then they see the light. They showed me like all of that. So they said it's the same. The process seems the same, I wrote. So they showed it to me, but then I wrote the process seems the same. So what we're going through collectively as a planet with this ascension process is almost like our individual souls when they cross over, which is very interesting. The way you perceive time is fluid now. Those who fight the process prefer to seek solace in what was, seeing the past with rose-colored glasses. This is an illusion. There is no past, only the now. Divine feminine energy brings the planet balance. The earth will be fruitful. The earth demands balance. She is your mother. She demands you grow and let go of childish things. Honor her. So then I kind of felt like we were attached to the earth karmically somehow. Like I felt like this was all part of what the earth itself demanded as well of us. And it's like, okay, time to grow up, kids. I've had enough of your shenanigans. Like that's kind of how it felt. Soon the transition will be complete and time will rush forward. For those of you who feel this speed now, you are some of the first to transition. So if you're feeling like things are going quickly, that time, that's what I was feeling. That's what kind of started this whole question, because I felt like time just goes so much more quickly than it used to. It could be that we're some of the first to get to that energetic level. You now have the power to create timing by taking action to help others with the journey. Share this knowledge with wisdom. Time is secular, or cycles, they kept saying. It goes in circles. It almost felt like for all of whatever we perceive of as time. That's how the universe works. It is now time to heal, move to the center of the circle. So they're showing me all these circles. So there's like move to the center of the circle and choose a path that resonates with you. So I guess that's for all of us. Like what we feel drawn to, we should sort of move toward that now. So I kind of feel like if the whole earth is kind of squeezing through like a wormhole, that's why everything seems sort of topsy-turvy. There are people who have already gone through the other side. Those could be the people experiencing time very quickly. And those are the people who need to use their wisdom to kind of pull the rest of the earth through. That's kind of what I was feeling. So it's not like I'm above or you're below, which is part of the thing that I hate when people discuss this. But it's kind of like we all have to squeeze through. But if you already made it through, then our job is to pass on the wisdom to get everybody through. So there's a lot there. There was like the earth, connection to the earth, just all of it. But the answer to this question, I feel like, is yes. Our perception of time speeding up or otherwise is aligned to our ascension process. That's what I was getting. And I was surprised because they know I'm a cynic.
And you had asked me to pull some cards on this.
Yeah. What did you get?
So I pulled 3 cards. This is, and then I have the base of the deck. I'll show you. So the first card I got was the 8 of Wands. And you can see that process of that looks like it's speeding up, or you were talking about the wormhole and everything. I was like, wow. And then you can't make this up. The world. So yeah, look at the circle in the center and the woman in the center. And I have another card that kind of it kind of just backs up what you were talking about. And I think a lot of people talk about, the new earth and things like that. And I think some of what we're talking about here is that perception of what that is. And then the Chariot. Yeah, it does. It feels like there's a momentum to this. It feels like it's speeding up, but there's there's also what's happening now. This is an action happening now. And at the base of my deck, I had the Queen of Cups. And I think it has to do with that. There's a shift into this feminine energy. And it's just amazing that the cards that came out and what you got.
That's great. And just so you know, she did her cards. Like, I had no idea what her cards are. We discussed before, like, should we pull cards? And I was like, well, I already did. And I wrote it all down, so it'd be kind of redundant, but it'd be cool if you did. I had no idea what her cards were going to be. So, and she had no idea what my message was. All I told her was like, oh, it's really cool, you know?
Yeah.
So, wow.
Awesome.
I love that. Well, I don't know, Cindy, but that's the tea for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and supporting our show. Thank you to Cindy for helping me with all of my questions and the chat. Thank you to anyone in the chat who worked as a moderator today. Cindy, do you have any final thoughts?
I just think it's time for a little dancing.
I think so. I think we need a little dancing.
Did you want to pick today, or would you like me to pick?
You can pick, because I'm cool with anything.
Okay, let's do this one.